Hello, welcome back. This is the second video of my tutorials for Google. Previously, I helped you create a classroom folder and a folder with your students. And then I also started you on an interactive syllabus, and we're going to carry on from that point today. So I'm going to show you a couple things you can do with your document to help you and your students gain access to everything you want them to have and to do it pretty easily. There is a little setup, and the setup is what I'm going to talk about right now. And to go to that setup, I'm going to start here where my folders are, and I'm in my drive. So if you need to get to your drive, you want to go ahead and get there first. Again, yours might look different if you have the new drive. It might say new instead of create here, and it might have incoming instead of shared with me, and then a couple other features. I'll do my best to show you the similarities as we go along. So to do what we're going to do today, um, we're going to create a document, but before we do that, I want to show you what the end result's going to look like. So I'm going to go into my business law class folder right here, and you'll see that I have a couple folders here, and this says business law shared, so I'm going to click on that. That's the one I have for all my students, and you'll get to see some of my students here, but really what I want to show you is business law assignments. And here we go. This is the document I want you to see. So I have some things that have links, and then I have some things that are just going to kind of give them an idea of what we're going to do that day. Some things refer to Wiki notes, and like for example, this section reviews on Wiki notes, it's located in this chapter 1 link that I've saved for them. You can also put links to quizzes, like right here at Socrative. I made a quiz out in Socrative. And so the day we go take our quiz, I'll activate that quiz, and they can just click on this link and go right there, type in my room number, and they can take that quiz. And then we can go on, we can talk about different examples that I would give them. Some of the links aren't on here yet because I'm still in the process of completely making it. You'll notice as we get further into the other chapters that I have more links put in for more things that we're doing. And then I also use the textbook as a resource for some questions. You'll see some page numbers here and there. And business law is one of those classes that kind of leads more to those questions than other classes. But every once in a while, we'll throw in some things from the web, and the mock trial case is all from the webs, and that's kind of a fun case to do. But regardless, the idea behind all this is for you to set up your entire class and have links to all the things you'd like your students to have. It doesn't matter if those document links are links to Word documents or Google Documents or presentations, video links, anything. Literally anything you want to use, you can put out there. So what I want to show you today is how to start creating one of these so your students can have access to it. So let's get out of here. I'm going to close this, and we're going to go to Create, and we're going to go to Document. Okay. All right. And so this document is untitled. And if you remember last time, I had you title it as your business law. Well, I call it the course title, which mine would be business law, and I put it in all caps to give it that importance. Business law, and then I put interactive syllabus on the last video. You'll notice in my class folder that I have it as notes and assignments. That's what I previously called it, but I think I'm going to move more to this title because it sounds more professional. So anyway, I'm going to click OK. My document's made, but it's not shared to my kids yet. So that's the next step. That's the big key. For those of you wanting to share this document with everybody else, this is the one that sets up everything else. After this move, we're going to move it to a folder. So we'll click on Move To, and we want to click Organize because I want to put it in specific folders. And we're going to scroll through here and find Business Law. And I'm going to click on this arrow. It'll drop down a menu. And then I made a business law shared folder. You should have created this in the last video. And we're going to click the down arrow for that, because if you loaded all your students, you'll see all mine here. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my control key and I'm going to click on all the students that I want to have this document, like so. All right. And it does take some time if you have quite a few students, but this is the only time you would really have to do this. Okay, so that's kind of a nice feature. So there we go. You'll notice that the folders that I had them make, they started with business law and had their last and then their name. I've changed my theory on that. This was easy even since last semester. I really would rather they put their name first, and I want them to put their last name, first name, and then the class. I think that makes a big difference grading wise. So now that they're all check marked, we're going to click the move button. All right, and you don't really see anything. I mean, you really don't know what happened there. So to see what happened, or to see if they actually got the document, you're going to go up here to your share button, and you'll see that if I would have clicked on get shareable link, this link would have showed up, and that's something we can use, but we're not going to use it today. The thing we want to see is right here, underneath where it says people. You can enter names. We're not going to enter any names. We're just going to look at the shared with and see who's in there. So I'm going to click on this drop down menu, and this is kind of an advanced look or an advanced view, and you're going to be able to see all the people that shared with. Now here's the big key when you share this first document. You don't want your students to be able to edit it, but the default setting when you move things is editing privileges. So what we have to do is go back in here and change all these to can view. All right, so I'm going to go through and change them to can view. And this is the most time-consuming part of this whole thing. And I realized I don't know if you'll see this anywhere else or if anybody will show you this step, but it may take 30 seconds to a minute, but it's worth the time it takes to do it, because in the long run you won't have to do it again. And if you want kids to be able to edit stuff in the future, you can just set that up through that get shareable link instead of doing it this way. So here we go. I'm just getting them all set up so they can only view. Oops, I want to make myself be able to edit. You'll notice I'm in here a couple different times, so I still want to be able to edit from different Gmails that I have, but we'll just make it so all these people can view. Fortunately, these kids won't actually see this, so I can use that as my tutorial, because that was last semester. So we'll go through and double check just to make sure everybody who should be able to edit can, which is just me, and the rest of them can just view. Okay. So that once you have that set, once they can only view it, you hit Save Changes, and you're done. You can hit Done. Okay, so that's the most difficult part of setting this up. So now I'm going to start giving it a title. I'm going to call it Business Law Interactive Syllabus. This may sound kind of redundant, but I like to have it in both places so they can get an idea of what it is too. Sometimes they don't even look up here. And then we'll just start with where we're going to start with. Let's say we're going to start with Chapter 1. All right. And whatever we're going to do in Chapter 1, so let's say I'm going to do Chapter 1 Wiki Notes. And yeah, it tells them what we're going to do, but I'm also going to supply a link, and I'll show you what I do with this as well and why I do Wiki Notes, okay? So Chapter 1 Wiki Notes, and I do Wiki Notes using Google Presentation, okay? So how would I go about making the presentation, you might say? Because I'm going to be able to go to my drive. I'll go to my drive real quick and go to my business law folder, and there's my business law chapter 1 stuff. Okay, so I could technically right click, if it'll let me. It doesn't seem to want to let me. Let's try this again. Right click, there we go. Right click, and I want to go to share and share, and a little dialog box should show up. This thing sure isn't being cooperative with me. Let's try again. Interesting. Okay, we'll do it the hard way. We'll open it up. There's 2 ways to do everything about, so I'm not opposed to trying both ways. You should be able to right click and go to share, and it brings up the share dialog box, but since that's not coming, it's always good to know 2 ways to do something. So we'll go to share here, and there it is, get shareable link. If this doesn't show up right away, this whole area right here, you can say get shareable link, and then it'll pop up, this little section right here. And what I want to do, I don't want to move it into their folder like we did before. I just want to give them access to it. Now this is the choice you have to make. Are you going to want them just to view it? Or do you want to give them the ability to comment on it? Or do you want them to let them edit it? So those are some options you have. You can go to more and give them even more, or you can pick more specific options. I tend to keep this. Anyone with the link who can can access it, and you can have no sign-in required. You could have a sign-in required if you wanted to. Um, and those are things that you can decide up for yourself. Okay, and you can click on this share with specific people, and that helps too. So I choose this middle one just because it's easy to use and it's easy to give kids back and forth. Um, I try to keep it as simple as possible so they can use it. I don't really want anybody looking for it on the web, so I don't tend to make them public very often. I just share them with my kids, and my kids keep it kind of in-house, and we go from there. If you want to know more, you can click on this. So I'm going to hit save for this because that's what I want. And I actually want them to be able to edit this. So I'm going to click on this option right here. So when they click on the link, they could actually edit the document. So let me do this. Let me click on the link here. And you can just click copy link. And so it'll tell you it's copied to the clipboard. And then I'm going to go back to my interactive syllabus. And right here I have the Chapter 1 Wiki Notes highlighted. And I'm going to click on link. And I'm just going to paste that link right there. Control V. If you're using an Apple or a Mac, it's Command V. And that pastes the link in, and we'll hit apply. And there you have it. There's the link. So when your kids need to go to their document and you want them to go to the Chapter 1 Wiki Notes, you simply tell them, go to your drive, go to the shared folder between you and me, and then click on your Business Law Chapter 1 Wiki Notes and get started. Start working on the questions. So what are Wiki Notes? Well, let's explain a little bit, and then we'll go from there. This is one of those features that I really like about being able to use Google Docs, presentations, spreadsheets, whatever I'm teaching. It really does vary depending on the topic, but I teach an array of subjects, so I can use pretty much any app they have out there with a variety of subjects that I teach. So with this, I want to show you how the link works. If you click on this, it'll bring the link down, and then they have to come down and click on the link. That may sound kind of annoying, but I actually kind of like it because there's another option. You can remove the link, or you could change the link if you maybe have a different version or a better version or something else you want to put there. And you can change the name of it. Like if I only wanted it to say Chapter 1 Notes, I can change that to Chapter 1 Notes, hit apply. This is just the text side. This is the link. So make sure you keep those straight. You don't want to go in thinking you're changing the text and you change the link. That's going to make your link go away. So you hit apply, and there you go. Change the name of the link that you have. So I'm actually going to go back, change just to show you this one more time. And I like leaving Wiki Notes because I want them to know that's what it is. There's a difference for my students between Wiki Notes and regular notes. Okay, so I'm going to hit apply, and then I'm going to click on the link, and I'm going to show you, it'll take you right to the presentation we want to work with. So there we go. There's the presentation we want to work with, linked right to the document. So when I said in my previous video that everything has a link now, you got to really treat everything as a separate web page, basically. This is what happens. And I will literally post all the links to all the things that I want them to see. Sometimes it's videos, sometimes it's just a quiz. Now here's what I like to do with Wiki Notes. Traditionally, you would talk in a class and they would record. Well, in this style, everybody gets to participate and everybody has a role, and I make sure to spell out those roles in my Wiki Notes instructions, so you can pause the video to look at these if you want. And I'll go to my next slide here. And then, so what are they trying to do? Well, I want to know some questions, or I'll ask them to participate, not just speaking, but I want them to type in answers as well. So I'll set up pre-made questions that I come up with, or maybe a little project that I want them to come up with, and they have to fill in the information. So we're talking about the 4 stages in the growth of law, and so I give them an example of the first one. I for an I, ha ha ha, I try to be funny. And then they have to do the rest of them, the other 3, in the next 3 slides. So, and it's participation. So I can see who does what when I look at this next step, which is called the revision history. So in here, revision history, if I click on it, it'll bring up every edit that was made by every person. So if you want to see who's participating and who's not, that's one way to check this out. That's all I have time for tonight. I hope you enjoyed Wiki Notes and my interactive syllabus. Until we meet again, enjoy Google.